I am from Bethel, and in Bethel, we don't have any stoplights. But we as a state, we find ourselves at a red light, and I think we feel the traffic is backing up. And yesterday, as we looked at the state budget, and in some of our breakout sessions, there was some frustration there. We could hear the horns honking in the traffic. And it was understandable and it was expected. And I think that's part of why this process has been so valuable to all of us, because we felt the frustration, but we also felt a need to do something about it. And this morning, we were given options to figure out how we can move forward. And we were assigned green dots and red dots and told to apply them to a complex model. And through that process, we found that there is a way that we don't have to be stuck indefinitely. And through the words of some of the chairs this morning that reported back on the green dot exercise, that some of them said that this was the most challenging discussion, and I think it is the most challenging discussion of our time. Yet it is a fascinating tool that we have in front of us, and we are empowered by the variety of options that we have. And we're going forward with open minds, and that ultimately we can meet this challenge. And there is optimism here and around the state, because we are starting to have the conversations that we need to be having. And this weekend is not about conclusions with Alaskans, it's about conversations with Alaskans. And because we are having those conversations, I think we as Alaskans are ready to start voluntarily reaching for those green dots and generating the revenues that we need to bridge our gaps. And as you stated here about the bridge between the Democrats and the Republicans, I think that it is very fitting that we're asked to come together to figure out how to bridge this gap by the ultimate bridge builders, Governor Walker and Lieutenant Governor Molat. Hoyana.
This is an awesome group. I thank personally all the people who have come from all over the state to spend a beautiful weekend inside in sunny Fairbanks. But I particularly thank Byron Malott for his inspiration and the governor for his empowerment and all the staff who worked so hard to provide the kind of information that we could use. And we thank you all, and we recognize that we need to be thanking each other, because as Joe Geldof said, we learn the most from the people we start out disagreeing with. That has been something I think it's very important. Ultimate power and solutions represent or come from the informed public of the state of Alaska. This is democracy in action. And this is the information stage. This is not a bunch of proposals or taxes or unpopular things that the governor's advocating. The administration, the governor, the staff are putting options on the table for discussion, for consideration, for understanding. This is the exercise in trusting Alaskans with an objective description of the alternatives before us. There's one thing that is difficult for me, because it's different than something that Sherry said, and that is the question of, can we do it all at once, or does it come in incrementally? And I've been involved in a lot of processes where our sense of fairness has drawn us to say you have to do all of this to make it fair to everyone. But the process itself operates on things like single subject rules and all the things that they have to happen individually. And Jay Hammond and I used to have this conversation. It goes all the way back to conversations with Oral Freeman before that, about can we make this work as a package? I think we can develop it, we can feel it, we can learn it, we can share it. but it has to happen incrementally, one thing at a time. When you add a bunch of unpopular things together, you make approval of that package virtually impossible. So that's something to think about. It makes it very, very important to us to at least agree on the first step and to work toward that agreement as much as possible. Because the first step either empowers or substantially hurts the second step and subsequent steps. So that's very important to us. But the beauty of this is it's been a listening session, it's been a learning session, and my ears feel good, and I've said less.